Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. And while it's away, we got a pretty big bombshell of a set reveal here to look at and talk about. And that is, of course, the Black Bolt and White Flare TCG sets, which are going to be our next special sets. And it's going to be a dual set. And of course, they're going to be Unova specific sets. They're going to be a callback to the old black and white era of the Pokemon TCG, which is quite fascinating. So if you're somebody who's a fan of Gen 5, the set might be for you. And of course, like I said, it is going to be a Unova specific. They've even remade the old black and white energies here, which is really cool. So it's a nice little callback to that era of the Pokemon TCG. There's a lot of really cool cards that got printed during that era, and we're going to look at all the brand new cards that did get revealed here from the brand new set. It's going to be pretty big. There's going to be over 170 new cards, more than 65 illustration rares, more than 5 special illustration rares, 6 Pokemon EX, just so much stuff within these. And of course, it's going to be Unova only, which I cannot wait to look at the brand new cards that got revealed here. And some of them are actually really cool. We even got some brand new special energy cards, which actually look really powerful. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure to leave a like in the video. And if you're new here to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below here to the second channel. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll leave a link to Pokebeach down below if you want to go check out any of the cards for yourself. So let's start things off here with the cards that got revealed here. So they were revealed at the Champions League this past weekend, and we even got more reveals throughout the week too. So, yeah, like I said, all Unova Pokemon, meaning that we, of course, have the Unova starters to look at, like Superior EX. Now, Superior EX is a Stage 2 grass Pokemon with 320 HP. It's got the ability Royal Cheer. Attacks used by your Pokemon do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Not a bad ability. It does look like it stacks, so you can have, multiple Superior in play to do even more damage. And then it's got the Attack Grass Order, which for a Grass and 3 Colorless Energy does 150 damage, and then you get to search your deck for 3 cards and put them in your hand. Kind of ridiculous. Being able to grab 3 cards is kind of insane. You can grab a lot of combo pieces for the following turn. And the downside with the Superior is it does need 4 energy. Grass is okay right now. There's Teal Mask Ogre Pond. The new Yen Mega could be kind of decent maybe with Superior because you can build up Superior via Yen Mega EX maybe. The ability is nice, and the attack is definitely strong. We just have to find a way to make the Superior really work, because I think it does have potential for sure with that good ability and strong attack. We do have a new Victini here with the attack V4. So this is kind of a callback to the old Victini from the black and white era. There's an old Victini that had basically the same attack, does 120 damage for 2 fire energy. If you have less than 5 bench Pokemon, this attack does nothing. So you have to have a full bench in order to do 120 for 2 energy. I don't know how good this Victini is actually going to be when it comes out. The old Victini from that era was kind of playable. I mean, back then, the power creep was a lot less. So, an 80 HP Pokemon, I think it did 100 damage, was a lot stronger back then than it is now. But it's a nice little callback to the old Victini. Though, you know what would have been nice? If they reprinted the Victini that allowed you to reflip for attacks. That's what they should have brought back. If they were going to reprint a Victini from the black and white era, it should have been the Noble Victories one to let you reflip. That would have been awesome. That's a card I've been wanting to have come back in the format for a long time now. And we had a prime opportunity for it to come back. But whatever, I'll take it. Next up is the Emboar line. Now, this is a nice, exciting callback also to the black and white Emboar. So, the black and white Emboar had the same ability, Inferno Fandango. We have Rain Dance for fire Pokemon. As often as you like during your turn, you can attach a Fire Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So we have Max Caliber, which can do this for water Pokemon. And now we're going to have an Emboar that gets to do it for fire Pokemon, which is exciting. Fire has gotten a bit of a nerf since rotation. Losing cards like Magma Basin didn't really help its case. We do have the new stuff coming out like Ethan's Ho-Oh EX, which might help it a little bit. But now we just flat out have Rain Dance for fire Pokemon. Just flat out fire Pokemon now have an Emboar to work with. And there's a lot of cards that do work well with Emboar. I think you can play this with the Ethan's Macargo. You can play this with all the other big Fire-type EX Pokemon. Armor Rouge EX comes to mind. Really exciting to see that we're getting the Rain Dance back in the form of an Emboar. And I think Tepig here, you can get it with Poffin, so you have some consistency there. Yeah, nice stuff. Does have an attack. Heat Crash. It does 120 damage. It's got 180 HP, so it is a pretty thick Pokemon to attack. But yeah, really cool that they brought back the Emboar from the black and white set with Inferno Fandango. Really cool. I think fire Pokemon maybe needed this a little bit of a buff ever since losing Magma Basin. There's a lot of really cool fire Pokemon in the format. And again, like I said, we are getting the Ethan's Pokemon, which might help the fire stuff a little bit. But all these other, fringe fire Pokemon attackers aren't as good anymore. But now that we have Emboar, they're going to be playable again. So really cool that we're getting this card back into the format. Exciting to see that. definitely a nice buff for fire types. I mean, there's a funny meme where it's like all the ogre pawns are good except for Hearth Flame Mask. That seems to be the one that nobody really gets to utilize. Well, now Hearth Flame Mask Ogre Pawn has a partner with Emboar. And, this will be in the same format as Superior Energy Retrieval, obviously, which is really good. So, yeah, cool stuff. And then we got Reshiram EX, which I guess you can use with Emboar. Reshiram EX does have the attack Slash, just 50 damage for 2 energy. And then it's got the attack Blaze Burst for 2 fire and a colorless energy. Does 130 damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. Then you have to discard an energy from the Reshiram. So this card might be better towards the mid to late game. Your opponent's taken 2 prizes, you're doing 230 damage. Or if they've taken 3 prizes, you're doing 280 damage. So it can hit pretty hard the more the game goes on. Definitely not a bad attacker. I don't think it's going to be the main attacker of any deck because it's a little too weak at the beginning of the game. Like, even doing 180 if they take 1 prize isn't really fantastic. But in the Emboar archetype, this could be a great late-game attacker where you can, kind of like Charizard EX, really punish your opponent for, going ahead in the prize trade, and then you can start sweeping them with Reshiram. It's not as powerful as Charizard in terms of, HP. It's only got 230 HP. I mean, if you're playing, like, an Emboar box deck, I mean, maybe you want to play stuff like Bravery Charm in the deck for, like, your Hearth Flame Mask Ogre Pawn or whatever other fire Pokemon you're using. But not a bad attacker. I think this will be a nice partner to have in the Emboar deck because, again, in the late game, it can hit really hard, much like a Charizard EX. And, of course, we do have the Samurott line here. The new Samurott's got the ability Strong Currents. Once during turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, your opponent also has to then switch their active with a bench Pokemon. So it's like a pseudo escape rope type ability, right? It's not a bad ability to have. You got the attack Energy Slash for 1 water, does 30 damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each energy on the Samurott. I mean, to be honest, this might be the weakest of the starters, which kind of sucks. We haven't really had a good Samurott card in the TCG. I don't think we've ever had a good Samurott card. I guess there's, like, Hisuian Samurott, if you want to count that. But, like, Emboar and Superior have had more playable cards than Samurott, I'm pretty sure. So it sucks that they made another one that's, like, kind of meh. I mean, the ability is nice, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad ability, but I don't know any decks that are going to be, like, dying for this ability. Plus, again, it's a Stage 2. Kind of hurts it. We're in a meta where Budu just runs rampant, so Stage 2s suck anyways. So, I don't know. This seems kind of mediocre. Kind of sucks to see that, but maybe we'll get a good Samurott eventually. We do have a new Kyurem EX here, which is cool. It's got the attack Slash, it does 50 damage once again, and then it's got the attack Blizzard Burst for 2 water and a colorless energy, does 130 damage. This attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken. So, much like the Reshiram, the more the game goes on, the stronger the spread attack becomes. 130 is like, it's like okay damage, but the main kind of trait is if your opponent's taken like 4 prizes, you're doing 40 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon on the bench, which is actually kind of strong. The only problem is this might have to compete against Shaman, which is not great. And of course, there is the Terra Pokemon in the format. But it's not a terrible card. It does have 230 HP. It says 320. Bit of a mistake there on Pokebeach, but yeah, it's 230 HP. 320 would be a little egregious for sure. But it's not a terrible card for sure. Not a bad attack. Just kind of underwhelming, and there might just be too many counters in the format for this card to work. But if you want to play it in a Baxcalibur deck, theoretically you could, right? And then, of course, we got a brand new Zekrom EX to go with the Reshiram and the Kyurem. So Zekrom has the same thing, kind of Slash, 2 for 50, and then you got the attack Voltage Burst for 2 lightning and colorless energy, does 130 damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent's taken, and then it does 30 to itself. Okay, so it's like Reshiram's attack, except that you take 30 damage instead of discarding energy, which is potentially worse. Zekrom is a lightning type, which isn't bad. We are going to be getting a brand new lightning card, which we're going to talk about very soon here, which I'm super excited for. They are reprinting a lot of really cool old abilities, so we are going to be getting some good support for Zekrom. So Zekrom will be playable, and the attack, once again, it's not too bad. I mean, it's like Charizard EX's attack on a basic Pokemon almost. A little bit weaker, but, not bad as, kind of late game, mid game sweeper type card. And then, of course, you got the beautiful illustration rares for the starters here. All right, moving on. So even more new cards got revealed here. So this is where things are going to get exciting. This new Electric here happens to be a reprint of the old Dynamotor Electric from the Black and White era. It's got the ability Dynamotor. Once during turn, you can attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Yep, Lightning type Dynamotor's back. Flaffy rotated not too long ago, but now Flaffy's back in the form of an Electric here, which is really exciting that they are bringing back Dynamotor. I figured they were going to give us like some kind of Dynamotor type effect eventually, because we had Lightning twice, we had Metal, and then Psychic. I thought we were going to get a different type this time, but I guess because they're doing the black and white era reprint stuff, it makes sense to bring back the electric that had the same ability from Noble Victories. So it makes sense that they're bringing this back within the set here. But yeah, really cool stuff. Once again, the new Zekrom EX we just looked at is going to have a nice home with this electric. And there's a lot of other lightning type Pokemon you can play with this. Obviously, Miraidon, Iron Hands comes to mind, which is really cool. This gives a bit of a buff to Iron Hands potentially. I mean, Iron Hands is seeing a lot of play right now with Joltik, but maybe now it's going to see even more play with electric in the format. So the Miraidon archetype got a little bit better now with electric in the format for sure. There's all kinds of other lightning type Pokemon you can play. Even when Miraidon does rotate, I'm sure there will be more lightning stuff to play. So yeah, Miraidon looks like it's going to have a brand new home in the form of electric here, which is really exciting to see. Yeah, cool stuff. Happy to see that get reprinted. And then, of course, there's the Electros to go with it. It's got 2 attacks, Thunderfang, 1 for 60, flip a coin of heads. The opponent's active is paralyzed, and Buzz flip for a bunch of energy. You do 100 damage, you flip 4 coins, 100 for each heads. It's like mediocre. For the most part, you're just going to be focusing on using the electric. I guess if, like, Farigiraf ever sees play and Miraidon electric gets threatened, I guess you can splash an Electros in the deck. Is there another Electros in the format? I actually can't remember. I can't pull up live right now. It's not for maintenance, but I can't remember if there is. I'm pretty sure there is. I can't remember. Anyways, either way, Electros exists, so if you want to counter to Farigiraf, there you go. All right, next up, we do have a new Stoutland line here. Now, it'd be really interesting to give us back the old Stoutland, but they didn't. The old Stoutland from Boundaries Cross that supporter locked your opponent when it was in the active spot. So Stoutland's got the attack Odor Sleuth for 2 colorless energy. You flip 3 coins for each heads, put a card from your discard pile into your hand. All right, now that's not bad at all. We've seen these type of decks that are more focused on controlling your opponent have these style of attacks. You get to put cards back in the discard pile back into your hand. You get a lot of good resources back to disrupt your opponent, effectively getting infinite resources. So maybe Stoutland control could be a thing. Maybe, I don't know. And then we have the attack Special Fang that does 100 damage. This Pokemon has any special energy on it. You do 100 more damage. So you get to do 200 damage. So yeah, maybe we'll see like a Stoutland control deck happen. I don't know if that's going to actually be a thing, but who knows? Maybe it could happen. Getting potentially 3 cards back is cool. I mean, obviously, it's on a coin flip. Again, this would have been a nice opportunity to give us back Fliptini, but okay. Either way, I guess it's fine. It could have been the Boundaries Cross Stoutland that supporter locked the opponent when it's in the active spot. Maybe Pokemon didn't want to bring that back because it's a little toxic. And Retrieval reprint. All right, we got another reprint. This one I'm really excited for. Air Balloon is coming back. I love this card. It came out in the Sword and Shield set. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 2 colorless less. It's really good. It's like a better rescue board. Rescue board gets rid of 1 retreat. Air Balloon gets rid of 2. This card is so nice to have in the format, in my opinion. I'm really excited to see Air Balloon come back. There's a lot of Pokemon in the format that could benefit from Air Balloon. For example, Zoroark EX. Zoroark EX is on the cusp of being an extremely good draw engine. It's not quite there yet, but it's close. Mainly one of the issues with it is you have to play with like a bunch of Turos or Switches, or you have to play it with End's Castle in order to make the card semi-playable because you don't want to get stuck in the active constantly. But now that Air Balloon's coming out, play Zoroark with like 2-3 Air Balloon. Boom, there you go. You have yourself a free retreating Zoroark EX. Love this card. I'm glad they brought back Air Balloon. Obviously they're not going to bring back Floatstone, which they could have. That is a black and white era card. But I'm happy they brought back Air Balloon. Again, End Zoroark, I think, was missing a card like this to actually be even stronger than it already is. So get your End Zoroarks now, folks. Those cards are probably going to go up in price by the time this card comes out, because I'm sure everyone's going to be trying out End Zoroark engines with Air Balloon, especially when we lose even more draw engines over time. This Air Balloon Zoroark combo will get even stronger. There's other, obviously, good combos with Air Balloon, not just Zoroark, but that's like the main one that comes to mind. Professor's Research reprint. We got a brand new supporter card, Hilda here. Search deck for 1 evolution Pokemon and 1 energy. Reveal it and put in your hand. Not a bad effect. I mean, again, we're in a format where Budew is very popular, so an effect like this actually does have merit. So yeah, not bad at all. This might be better than maybe playing Jock or Brock Scouting, because you do get an energy. So you get to get an evolution, and you also get an energy. So you can actually build up your board even more by getting energy onto the board also, which is really nice. So definitely not a bad card to have in a Budew meta for sure. And then we got the reprint of Charen here, the classic draw 3 cards. But then we got some special energy reprint, including the Prism Energy reprint. Now, this one has me hyped. Prism Energy was a very good special energy card from Next Destinies, and this card is like a reprint. This card provides a colorless energy. However, if it is attached to a basic Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, but only one energy at a time. This card is a fantastic card to have reprinted within the meta. It's a rainbow energy type effect for basic Pokemon. You can't put on evolutions to give them rainbows, but on basic Pokemon, it becomes a rainbow effect. It's kind of funny that this card is now coming out after Lugia's gone. Pretty cool. Obviously, they can't give us Prism Energy in the same format of Lugia. That would be a little broken. They had to wait for Lugia to leave the format. I mean, Prism Energy's already in Expanded anyway, so it's like, whatever. If you want to go play Lugia in Expanded, you already got Prism Energy, so this card doesn't really affect Lugia that much. But it is really nice that they are bringing this back. I don't know off the top of my head what decks will utilize it, but this Special Energy has always been very strong, so I'm sure there will be a home for Prism Energy for sure. So that's cool that they brought it back. They can finally give us back proper, really powerful Rainbow Energy style effects because Lugia's gone. They no longer have to worry about Lugia being overpowered and broken, so they can finally give us these cards again, which is actually really cool to see. Screw you, Lugia, for gatekeeping the TCG developers. All right, and then we got Ignition Energy here, which is also a really interesting special energy card that reminds me a lot of the old triple acceleration energy. If this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discarded at the end of your turn, this card provides 1 colorless energy while it's attached to a Pokemon. However, if it's attached to an evolution Pokemon, it provides 3 colorless energy instead. So yeah, it's just like triple energy acceleration, in that way. And these type of effects are always really, really powerful. Triple Energy was a very good card. A lot of really cool decks came out of it. Like there was a Behemoth Hit and Run deck that utilized it. Stuff like Persian EX, Naganadel, or GX, sorry. Persian GX and Naganadel GX really liked this card too. This is definitely a very powerful card. And it looks like we're getting Special Energy back in a big way now that Lugia's gone with Prism Energy and Ignition Energy. Really happy to see that. Definitely really excited for these 2 cards to release. It's nice that we're finally getting really good Special Energy again, like I said. And Ignition Energy is a really nice card because a lot of evolutions that require a lot of energy costs are finally going to be a lot more playable because this card came out. All we need is a special charge reprint, and then we'll be back in business, I think. All right, we got even more new cards here to look at. We got, of course, the Weather Trio. We got a Tornadus here with the attack Wrapped in Wind, attach base energy from your hand to this Pokemon, and then Hurricane does 100 damage, move base energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Kind of mid. Then we got Thunderous here, which has the attack charge. Search check for light energy, attaches Pokemon. Then Disaster Volt does 110 damage, discard energy from it. Again, kind of mediocre. Maybe this will see play within the Electric deck as having a nice one-prize attacker to work with. And then finally, we got Landorus here with Abundant Harvest, touch base energy from your hand, or from your discard pile of this Pokemon, sorry. And then you got Earthquake, just 110, 10 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. Keep in mind, there is the new fighting support coming out with like the Mega Lucario. Maybe this card will be decent in that type of archetype. But yeah, pretty mid, like, Weather Trio stars. I mean, nothing too crazy there. I don't know if we're going to get EXs of them, because we did have, obviously, the EXs of these cards during the Black and White era. Like, specifically, Landorus EX was very powerful. That's one thing I wanted to mention, actually, real quick here before I wrap things up, is they seem to be reprinting old Black and White era cards, like Prism Energy, Inferno Fandango Emboar, the Victini, Electric Dynamotor. They're bringing back these old style effects, but what other Black and White era Pokemon could get reprinted? Like, if they're going to bring back the EXs, are we going to get a Keldeo EX, like the Russian one, also with the Attack Secret Sword? Are they going to give us that? Are we also going to be getting potentially like a Landorus EX, like the Hammerhead one? The problem with that is, though, is I was actually talking to Jake Gearhart about this at Milwaukee, is we've already gotten a lot of these cards back in some way, shape, or form. So, like, if they gave us Landorus, well, we already have Hops Zacian, which is pretty similar to Landorus EX already, so that would kind of make no sense. There's, like, a really cool Gothitelle, but Gothitelle is basically just the Tyranitar we got from Journey Together, so they can't really give us that. I mean, we could get a Selgor, but we already have an Selgor in the form of the one that confuses. So it's like we already have a hit and run Selgor. Like, are they really going to give us another hit and run style of Selgor? Will we get like powerful trainers like Gets back? Is Tropical Beach going to make a reprint? Are we going to get Hypnotoxic Laser? What about the Team Plasma cards? Are we going to get the Team Plasma engine back in the format? There's so many questions that we have about what they can bring back, but I'm excited to see what they do bring back within these Black and White era sets. Black and White era was a very cool era. It really did revolutionize TCG, though, because it's when we originally got the powerful EXs like Mewtwo EX. I mean, looks like they're just giving us Unova Pokemon, so it'd be kind of jokes that they gave us randomly Mewtwo EX back with X-Ball. But yeah, either way, I'm really looking forward to these new cards, and hope you are too. And I'm sure, next couple of videos, we'll see even more new Unova cards get revealed that I'm excited for. We are getting Hydreigon again, so maybe we'll get the Hydreigon that moves the dark energy around the board. We don't really have a Pokemon in the format that does that, where you get to move energy around the board, so I'm excited to see what they do with some of these new Unova cards. Maybe we'll get Garbotoxin back, or Trash Lanes. That's another big one I wanted to highlight. Really excited to see what else gets revealed from this Unova set. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. I'll leave a link to Poke Beach down below if you want to go check out the new cards for yourself. Let me know if you have any other ideas for what could get brought back from the old black and white era Unova sets down below in the comments. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.